welcome to my crazy life. I'm Lori. I figured we'll do a little car chat today. I'm leaving work a little early. My cat Wellington has a vet appointment this afternoon. He has not been feeling very well. Back in December, he was diagnosed with asthma, which is bizarre. I mean, I guess it's not bizarre, it's a thing, but I didn't know it was a thing. And I guess it's usually diagnosed in younger cats. He's 11 this year. He just turned 11 in March. But anyway, so in December, he was coughing. That's the only way I can describe it. And what I thought was throwing up fur balls. But it's not. He's had asthma. And so they gave him some antibiotics and steroids. A shot of antibiotics and then steroids I had to give him. And he was fine. And then a couple weeks ago, it started up again. The coughing. Not as bad. And he was eating and drinking. So I called the vet and asked, when do I bring him back in? How do I know? Like, I don't know. He doesn't talk. I would definitely know. Oh, my hair's crazy today. I would definitely know if he was acting atypical, but other than the coughing, at first he was acting normal. But then we hit this crazy spell of weather where it rained almost every day for about 2 weeks. And during that period, he got really, I don't say really, but he was coughing more, kind of sleeping, lounging around, not acting himself. So I called and made an appointment. I didn't feel like it was an emergency. But had it been an emergency, there's an emergency vet down the street from my house as well. So I would have taken him in. He wasn't wheezing. He's just coughing. And he lost his voice. And there is nothing more pathetic than a very chatty cat. He talks all the time to squeak at me. So it was sad. So he lost his voice for about 3 days. It's back. He was acting. He's been up and down the past couple days. He's been good. But then like this morning, it's kind of gross out. And yeah, he wasn't good again. So I'm thinking that this is brought on by the changes in the weather. My allergies are driving me nuts with the change in weather. So I can only imagine that, it might be affecting him. So I'm leaving work, headed home, gonna scoop him up and head to the vet with him. And then I have to go to the bookstore because I'm so excited. A book is coming out today, or it is already out. I have to go buy it. I love to read, and this was a late in life thing for me. I did not enjoy reading all through school, high school, college. I just really never, randomly, but I really never found a book or a series of books that held my interest. But lately, I say lately, but probably the past 5 or 6 years, I've really, really enjoyed reading. And I have found some authors that I really like. And then I found some authors that I like enough. And then I found some I just won't read. But I think everything is like that in life. But the one author that I absolutely love all of these books is J.R. Ward. And it's the Black Dagger Brotherhood. Sorry if it's bumpy. I just hit a bump on the road. But her books, this series anyway, it's about vampires. So it's called paranormal romance is what it falls under. So there's a love story involved, and there's vampires and this whole world that they live in Caldwell, New York. And it's just fascinating to me. And I really enjoy it. And this author is so captivating with her writing. She really can spin a good story, and the way the books, kind of introduce new characters, and while telling one story, you're kind of getting introduced to other characters. So I don't even remember what book this is. I think 17 in the series, maybe. I'm not 100% sure, but the book The Thief comes out today, and I got a gift card to the bookstore for Christmas, and I have been saving it to go buy this book. A lot of books I'll just read online, like I'll borrow from my library on my iPad or buy my half-price bookstores, which I think they're nationwide. It's a chain, I believe, of bookstores, and they literally sell books for half price or less. So they're used books, but you can go in and sell your books and buy. It's like a regular bookstore, but they're used, most of them. So I buy a lot of books there, or I just borrow them from the library, or I listen to audiobooks. So that whole spiel to say, I'm going to the bookstore, hopefully after I take Wellington home. And I might hit the dollar store. Today is Tuesday, and I think my dollar store, my Dollar Tree by my house, stocks their shelves on Tuesday. So I may run into there real quick. It's pretty close to the bookstore, so I may do that. First things first, obviously. Go home and make sure my cat's okay and taken care of. So, what else is exciting in my life? Not a whole heck of a lot. I don't know if I've ever said, but I live in Columbus, Ohio, right outside of Columbus, and we have the Columbus Blue Jackets, which is our hockey team. And I was never really a fan of hockey growing up until I moved back to Ohio. So I was born in Ohio, I lived in Texas, I lived in Massachusetts, and now I'm back in Ohio. And when I moved back in like 99, I moved back in 99, but I can't remember if it was 99 or 2000 was the first season for the Columbus Blue Jackets, but that was Ohio's first NHL hockey team. And the company that I work for, my brother also at the time worked for, they're a major sponsor of the Columbus Blue Jackets. So they always are offering tickets, different packages we could purchase, or maybe sometimes free tickets, or, you know, discounted seats, whatever. You know, there's all these different varieties of ways that we get to go see the Blue Jackets play. And I've become a pretty big fan, so I'm excited. And this year, they've made the playoffs. And they're going to have the playoffs at home. So the first two games, they're going to play the Washington Nationals in DC. So that'll be the first two games, and they come back to Columbus, and they go back to, they go back and forth. Well, because I work for this company, we were offered early access to playoff tickets. So my brother and our friend and I are going to see, our friend's son are going, we have game 6 tickets. So we're going to hope there's a game 6. It's very confusing on how hockey playoffs work. I don't feel like it's like this in football, but the first round in hockey, from what I understand, is best of 7 games. So they will play until one or the other team wins 4 games. So in theory, there should be a game 6. If the Blue Jackets lose 4 games, then my game gets canceled and we get refunded our money and we don't get to see them play. If the Blue Jackets win 4 games and they go on to round 2, then we would have home tickets to the next round. So I would keep my tickets and we would go. So it's confusing. But anywho, that to say, the mascot of the Columbus Blue Jackets is Stinger. I think it's a bee, a big green bee. Yeah, bee. Hornet maybe, but I think a bee. Anyway, Stinger was at work today. They brought him in. We got to take pictures, enter a raffle for a jersey. It was kind of fun just to get our picture taken and whatnot. And then Thursday, which is the first game of the series, we get to wear our hockey stuff. I have a t-shirt and a sweatshirt, which is what I'll wear. But if you have a jersey, no hats. But they're allowing us, again, because Huntington is who I work for, that they're a major sponsor, they're allowing us, which is fun, to kind of celebrate and enjoy this victory in Ohio, which is nice. So we get to do that on Thursday. Today is Tuesday, so it's in 2 days. But I also work at my part-time job Thursday evening. I work full-time during the day, and then in the evenings I work at the Ohio State University Schottenstein Center, which is one of the arenas on campus. It's the arena where men's basketball plays, women's basketball, and men's hockey. And then there's concerts and other events in there as well, like any, major arena. Our other major arena where we have concerts is Nationwide, and that's where Blue Jackets hockey plays. But I work part-time at the Schottenstein Center or Value City Arena. It's all one place. And Thursday starts Cirque du Soleil. Corteo, I believe it is this year. So I'll be working that. So I have to just change my clothes before I leave for work, from my first job to my second job. Which is why a lot of my videos I record on the weekends and then maybe upload later during the week, or I may upload them and make them available at different points during the week, but it's because I work a second job. But that actually slows down. Sports is done. Basketball and hockey are done for the season. Saturday, the Ohio State Buckeyes have their spring game, which I'll work that, which is at the stadium. So I'll work all day Saturday, not all day, but about 6 hours. But then there's no football until fall, obviously. But this is their spring game where the media comes out and they kind of show off who they recruited, and the freshmen kind of get an indicator, because they will fill that arena for a game that they're playing against themselves. I'm in the stadium. So a spring game is the Buckeyes play the Buckeyes. They have some people on defense, the offense, and they play each other. It's a glorified practice, but they'll get 100,000 people in that stadium to watch the spring game. It's kind of exciting. They always try to, break the record. So it's a full sold-out event. Tickets, I think, were like $5 or something, because it's not really a game. But it gives, like I was saying, it gives the freshmen an idea of what it's like to play in a stadium with 100,000 fans yelling and screaming for you. Not every university has the following that Ohio State does. And I know there's other universities that do. But a lot of these kids right out of high school have no idea what it's like to play in this environment. So this, I think, is a good time, good chance to get them some experience and understand what it's going to be like this season when they start. And then they'll just go back to their regular practice, and then the fall, they'll start their regular schedule at the Shoe, which is the stadium that the Buckeyes play in. You're getting all kinds of information I'm sure you don't even ever want to have. Is there anything else going on? I don't feel like there is. I have a trip coming up in May, the beginning of May. My friend and I are driving from Ohio to Maryland to buy yarn. We're going to the Maryland Sheep and Wool Festival, which is the first weekend in May. It's about a 6.5 hour drive. We went last year. It was super fun. We'll leave Columbus at like 5 in the morning. We drive to Maryland. We go right to the fairgrounds where this festival is being held. We walk around, we shop, we sample foods, we visit the sheepies, and then we go get we check into our hotel that night, grab some dinner, and then sleep, wake up, go back to the festival for a couple hours to see if we have anything else we want to purchase before we get in the car and drive home. It sounds excessive, but it's a lot of fun, and it's not too long of a drive, I don't think, to experience. And if you're a knitter or a yarn person or a crafter, you'll understand that, getting wool, real yarn, wool, sheepy goodness, most of it is hand dyed. So these artists, or makers if you want to call them, buy skeins of undyed yarn, or they have their own sheep. Sometimes they have their own flock of sheep and they shear them and they send it out and they have skeins of yarn made. and then they dye it. So they add the color to this undyed yarn, and it's beautiful. A little expensive, but beautiful. So it's fun. And it's fun walking around at a whole fairgrounds. I mean, this is really big. An entire fairgrounds dedicated to sheep. It's pretty cool. And they have, you know, sheep's milk cheese, and there's lamb burgers, which I find rude. I'm not gonna lie. You shouldn't be eating the sheeps, but, you know, they're food. And then they have, like, some kids come almost like 4-H, and they show their sheeps, and it's fun. It's a good time, and it's a nice little getaway for an overnight trip. So we'll be doing that, and then obviously my upcoming trip to Scotland, which I'm getting anxious about. Not anxious in the sense of going, but like, oh, I gotta get prepared. And so last month, I had a very stressful weekend over Easter. I was kind of sad. I was missing my mom and family, and I was dog sitting for my niece, and I worked, and it was just kind of a crazy weekend. But I had convinced myself that we were leaving in 1 month, like 3 to 4 weeks. So when my niece comes in, I was like, sweetie, we're leaving in 4 weeks. I'm trying to freak you out, but we got to get stuff done. And she's like, who are you? We're not leaving for 2 months. Oh my gosh. I had literally convinced myself that we were leaving in less than a month, and it's really 2. I even went out shopping. Like, I was like a mad woman. I went out, I needed some new leggings, I needed this and that, and I was like, oh, okay, well, I needed this stuff anyway, so it's not a big deal. But I think I just am so excited to go, and I'm anxious that I need to make sure that we have the things that we need, which is ridiculous, but that's just part of my anxiety when I'm traveling, which helps because we get all the anxious stuff done before we go. I'm stopping on the highway, which is never a good sign, but it is typical for this portion of the highway that gets off by my house. So do I have anything else exciting happening? I don't think so. Just some shopping, some excited. I might go to CVS and do one more couponing trip for some more eye drops. I'm looking for my lipstick. Some more eye drops. Mostly because my eyes do get dry, especially in the summertime. So I thought there was a really good deal on them. I should buy a second tube, especially traveling on an airplane. Yeah, you need perfect. Keep yourself moisturized. This is my powder puff from NYX. I love this stuff. I got a couponing about a month ago. I actually went back and bought 2 more tubes. But I love this color. And I have a brown color that I like as well, but I love the berry color. And it goes on super smooth, and it almost feels like a powder. Okay, maybe they would like to let me over. I think that would be great if you'd let me change lanes. Ooh, road rage. Not road rage. Oh, he's mad in his little blue car. There is an intersection where you get off of one highway and onto another highway that is dangerous. There's a lot of accidents here, and a lot of people feel like they don't need to wait in their line for their turn, so they will come around and jump in front of you and try to get off the highway quicker. It's just ridiculous. I really hope that they do something about this soon. I don't know if there's any plans to, but let's hope for the best. Wow, I made it home in like record time today. Like 30 minutes. That's pretty exciting. Wonder if I have time to stop at the Dollar Tree before I go home. I bet I do. Because I don't need to be at the vet's office for 1 hour from now. I could do a quick run in, and then I don't have to do it after the vet. Might be pushing it. No. Let's see how long it takes me to. I just want to see if they have any of the Mother's Day stuff in. I don't know. Alright, well, I don't know that I have much else to say other than have a good one. If I get anything at the dollar store, I'll be sure to put a haul up this weekend. If you have any questions, be sure to put the comments below. Like, share, save, subscribe, hit the bell, thumbs up. You know the drill. Thanks for joining me on my drive home, and have a good one. Bye.